All right, now we're going to take the black crayon and do a series of mono prints with all of our printing plates. We're going to put the paper kind of squarely with an equal border on one of our plates, and we're going to rub using the side of the black crayon. Now, you may want to be kind of conservative about how much rubbing you do until you find your edge and where the main subjects are. So my main subjects are the fiddleheads. So I have a pretty good idea of where the edge is. Now I can really go in and focus on the fiddleheads and trying to get them. You can also go in and hand draw stuff if you don't get a good enough rubbing. The other thing you really want to be mindful of is you do not want your paper to shift, because then you get like a ghost print, and that's not good. Okay, so you would take that, and then what you can do is you can just go in and hand draw things in if you weren't quite happy with how they looked, or if you wanted to give them some more personality or a little more personal touch. Nobody's gonna know, and honestly, let's just make something fun, okay? So, there we go. Now, the fun thing we can do is the crayon here acts as a resist. It means that it resists the paper. So you go in with your watercolors, and you can paint them like realistic colors or fantasy colors, or colors that kind of, you know, you're excited about. You do want to kind of think about color theory as you paint things. So a nice way to start off is sometimes like analogous color schemes, which are the ones that are neighbors on the color wheel. So say you like reds, you could do like red, red, violet, violet, or blue, blue, violet, yellow, yellow, green, green. So any neighbors on the wheel. They kind of have a natural affinity and commonality together that look really beautiful. You could do one with warm colors or cool, whatever color schemes that you've learned about. Or you could just do, like for me, this is a very natural color scheme from what it kind of looked like. And then maybe I'm gonna go in and add some browns to try and neutralize it a little bit. And then when you're using watercolor and you want to get details, guys, you want to get a lot of the water off. Load your brush and then hold the brush straight up and down and use the tip of the brush to try and get the more controlled areas. Now, watercolors make a lot of people nervous. I've spent 20-some years with watercolors, and I finally feel like I have a good enough relationship with them. I understand how they work. The most important thing that you need to know at this point in your art life is sometimes you just got to be patient and let stuff dry. So at this point, once I get my fiddleheads and my bottom here dry, I would say you need to go dry, friend. Because if I painted this background, everything would blur together, and that really frustrates artists sometimes. So I'm going to put this aside and pick this back up, and you can see everything's dried, and then I'm going to go in and I'm going to work some color into the background then. Okay, so you would take your time, but let me show you. So this is black crayon and watercolor. Let me show you another example. I did my abstract one, and when I looked at it, it just looked like a map to me. So I started coloring it with blues and greens and like the mountains, and I thought about a topographical map. That's just what inspired me. You can paint it however you want. One of the techniques I used was like I went back in and gave it a little bit more pop here, so wet on wet. And then here's my non-objective one. I went back in and colored, and then went back in with crayon and delineated the outline areas, okay? So you have a little fun, experiment with all three of your printing plates and black crayon. If you don't get something you like, try it again, you know, different color schemes, and make a whole bunch of them, and then we'll pick our three best for that, and then we'll come back and we'll try something new. So pause the video, do the black crayon with all of your different plates, and then have some fun experimenting with your watercolor. Thanks.